Okay, cool. And clap.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about leagues. So basically in a league, essentially there's about 20 teams per division. And now in Europe, how it works, it's all based on a table point system. So therefore, you win on the last day of the season or you don't. If you lose and you're in the top flight, if you're in the bottom three, you go into what's called relegation. You go down the division and vice versa. So that way that the leagues are constantly moving between the top flight and then the middle flight.
So there's 20 teams. You play every team home and away, and then you get points based on the results. So for a win, you get 3 points. For a tie, you get 1 point. And for a loss, you get 0 points. Yeah, so if you're in the bottom three, you get cut to the lower divisions. And the top team on the top of the table wins the league. All right, so we're going to go through the European leagues.
In France, the top league is called Ligue 1. Pretty much just dominated by PSG. Until last year, AC Monaco had a pretty good run. They won, actually. Fuck.
Last year, there was another team that kind of surfaced, and they were Monaco. But it's generally just PSG. So Liga, basically just one team plays in that league.
PSG. And that's a joke. In Spain, it's La Liga. Pretty much is dominated by Barcelona, Real Madrid. Occasionally, Atletico Madrid will slip their way in there. But other than that, they have some notable teams like Sevilla, Valencia, but not a lot of talent going around.
I mean, there's talent. There's talent.
It's funny because that league has the two best teams in the world.
Yes.
But everyone else is trash.
Everyone else gets trashed on by those two teams.
Except Atletico sometimes.
Most of the time. All right, Bundesliga. That is the top flight in Germany.
Also a joke.
Not a joke.
Definitely a joke.
Not a joke. Not as bad as Liga, per se.
Who won the last 5 Bundesliga tournaments?
Oh, yeah, Bayern Munich.
Oh, Bayern Munich, yeah, joke.
It's pretty competitive within the second place to the 20th place, but Bayern Munich wins that league every year. But they've got a good league. There's still a lot of talent in that league, and it's pretty good to watch if you're not playing Bayern.
Yeah. The only other notable team is Borussia Dortmund,
which is the largest stadium in the world, and we'll get to that in some future episode. But
right.
Borussia Dortmund.
They also have a very good youth system as well.
Borussia Dortmund is a good team,
Christian
but
Pulisic.
just not as good as Bayern Munich.
Serie A, also a joke.
Definitely a joke.
So Juventus has been dominating the league for the past 4 or 5 years.
More than that.
More than that. It used to be very, very competitive with likes of the two Milan teams.
That league really took a dive after the early 2000s. People just left that league. Money left that league, and right now they're just kind of a shit league.
Other notable teams are AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli,
Roma, Lazio. Lots of historic teams, but they all live in the past. None of them are good now. And last but not least, and our favorite, is the English Premier League. The English Premier League is the top flight in England. It comprises of 20 teams, which also have a long history. There are at least 6 teams every year that can win the Premier League. Obviously, big boys like Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, all really, really popular around the world. And they're all really good. There's high competition, there's good games, and lots of money.
As far as the Premier League goes, it does have a substantial amount of money. So therefore, they have a lot of attraction to bring world-class players that are very well known. If you look at Man City's front 7, they're world-class. Like, the names alone, they can bring in big people. Also can bring in very big managers, Pep Guardiola.
Also, one of the other things that separates the Premier League from the other leagues, where there's a strong culture in the other leagues, like the Italian league and the German league, for the cities and their teams. The consistency of the Premier League teams and their culture. I mean, every weekend when there's a Premier League game on, you see all the people in that town go to the game, and there's never really a game that's not packed. And there's always just a great atmosphere. A lot of times you see away fans from other teams that are playing travel to the game and are a pretty big percentage of the audience.
It is very easily accessible.
It's more accessible than, let's say, like bigger countries like Germany or France or Spain, where it's harder for away fans to travel to the games. And that means that, like, whether you have 2 teams in London or a team from Manchester and a team from London, it's pretty well established that the away teams will be at the game, and so there's definitely a following for both teams pretty much every game, and that makes it exciting, and that's pretty much it. I mean, in terms of leagues,
right?
Yeah, it's good.
Right. Yeah,
it's good. So ta for now.
So in France, top team.
Wait.
In France, top league. And then edit, so it's like funny.